Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a new episode of the LDM show. On today's show, we're going to be discussing something very interesting, which is in regards to the Dawah that's happening in Malawi. And I actually have a brother who I met during the Malawi Dawah mission last year in August. Assalamu alaikum, Umar Farooq.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
You well?
Alhamdulillah.
Good. So Umar is actually studying here in the UK, and he's inshallah going to be going back to Malawi later on. So one of the first things I want to begin off with is the poverty in Malawi and the missionary activities and how they're so strong in Malawi, and inshallah how we're going to be inshallah in the future reducing the impact of these missionaries through the dawah that we're going to be giving. So if you can give the viewers a glimpse of the poverty that actually exists in Malawi.
In order to understand or to picture the poverty in Malawi, I'll give you an example a brother from Luton gave me a couple of weeks ago when he went to Malawi. He was staying at a hotel in Malawi, and he was just spending the evening catching some breeze, and we were walking around, and he met a guard at the hotel, and they were in a conversation, and the guard eventually asked him, "Do you think my mother will go to paradise?" This guard was a Muslim.
Okay.
And this brother said, "Inshallah she will. Why not? Inshallah we all will go to Jannah." So he's like, "No, you don't understand what my mother had to go through in order for her to bring us up. He had a couple of brothers and sisters.
Sure.
She had to do things that were really disgusting. She was basically a prostitute, and I had to watch that." This is what the guard was telling this brother of mine, this friend of mine.
That's shocking.
For her to put food in our stomach, and I had to watch that. And till today I think about it, that what she went through. Now answer my question: do you think my mother will go to paradise? This friend of mine had no answer. Literally, he was so shocked. It was when he told me that I was shocked myself. He said that's just one example I'd seen, and there are many other examples in Malawi. There was another village he visited where the closest clinic was 12 kilometers by foot, and when a woman was in labor or
they had to
walk all of that. And for them, they were happy that they had an ambulance.
Oh, in the
village. And you know what the ambulance was? A wheelbarrow. And they were happy about that.
Wow.
Things like that, it's really shocking. And the missionaries, you've seen yourself, you come to Malawi, the amount of missionaries that are jumping on that plane and coming to Malawi.
And not only that, exploiting the dire situation there and forcing people, I would say, into Christianity by giving them aid.
Exactly, by giving them aid. They mixing the religion and aid together, which doesn't work. I mean, a couple of weeks ago as well, I spoke to an ex-Zimbabwean who lives here. He said, he's an elderly person, he was saying that in the 15th and 16th century, Malawi, Zimbabwe and the neighboring countries were one country.
Mozambique.
And all of the Zambia, they were one country. And at that time, there was no such thing as Christianity in those areas.
That came after David Livingstone, much later.
Exactly. Islam, and maybe, I don't know, their own cultural
beliefs. Yeah.
Beliefs, but Islam was there. Christianity was never there. Christianity only came in maybe a century or 2 centuries or 1.5 centuries ago. And this is when the missionaries came in and just confused everybody and exploited the locals. I gave da'wah myself last year August for the first time first time in Malawi, and just speaking to them in simple words. Do you believe in a God? Where is God? And they'll say, there's one God. Do you believe Jesus is a messenger? And they'll say yes. Do you believe Muhammad is a messenger? And they'll say yes. And then you ask them, what's your religion? And they say Christianity.
That's because their ancestors were Muslim.
Their forefathers were Muslims, their ancestors were Muslim. But then these missionaries have come in and said, you know what, we'll give you a bag of maize, we'll give you a bicycle, or we'll build you a school, become Christians. And they'll do it. I mean, who wouldn't in such dire situations?
Poverty, yeah.
Exactly. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So, we need to get hold of these people. And, people from here are really trying the best. People in Malawi are trying the best. But if we try our best from here, the people in Malawi, the rich people, they'll see it and they'll want to get involved as well.
Inshallah. And it's one of those things that we know that we have the truth with us. I mean, the missionaries can go in there, they can spend millions of pounds, they can build churches, build schools, and do all this, but the fact of the matter is truth. And as you saw yourself when giving dawah there, we didn't have to use money when calling people to Islam, and people accepted Islam and there's no money involved.
Exactly.
Right?
I did it myself.
Exactly. In, what was that area? Blantyre Business District, right?
The business district, yeah.
So what I want to move on to next is, you're obviously part of an organization called IIB, Islamic Information Bureau.
Yeah.
What is the work that you've been doing previously in Malawi, and what are the sort of plans for the future, inshallah?
Currently, there's about 14 Islamic information bureaus in Malawi, and these bureaus, the plan, I mean, I wasn't heavily involved previously in these bureaus, but they've got materials that can help people come to Islam, and, you know, the new Muslims, and generally just to the public. It's open to the public, these bureaus, and they're situated in, some are situated in the main cities, in the main areas of the city, and some in remote villages, and but, you know, good locations where people have got easy access to these places. But last year August, when we were there, we tried out what you are all doing here, what street dawah, and just by doing that, you yourself noticed
it's so easy.
It's easy over there. It's much more easier. So inshallah, when I go back, my plan, and hopefully the people and the people involved in IIB are going to work on doing a lot of street dawah, especially outside these bureaus, and also in the CBD areas, and you know, just call people to Islam, because Malawians, you, Adnan, and all of you had told me 90% of the Malawians are Muslims, but they do not know it. So this is an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they're so confused.
Exactly.
In their beliefs. Now, one of the things I want to do to, inshallah, wrap up the show is, you yourself weren't giving dawah until maybe last year, and since then, mashallah, I've seen that you've really become passionate. It's become something you want to focus your life on, inshallah. What advice would you give to someone in Africa right now who's maybe from the sort of privileged background that yourself and others have come from, and who've grown up all their life in Africa, never been involved in dawah, but they want to take that step? I mean, what advice would you give them?
You see, I till last year August, I didn't know anything about dawah, and I really regret that I didn't take this step when I was living there to, you know, give da'wah. But alhamdulillah, Allah made, you know, Allah is the best of best planners. I met you brothers, and I came across you, and you know, I just saw how easy it is to give da'wah. And to be honest, at the moment I'm a YouTube addict. If you are in Africa, go get onto the internet, just watch videos about these AIRA, Convivencia, London Dawah movement. They're all doing amazing work in the UK, and they are planning to tap into Africa. We need resources, and the only resource we have is us, ourselves. People. We need to use our minds in the right ways. We need to give da'wah. I started giving da'wah in Malawi, not only in Malawi, just even here now. I started, you know, just with my friends, the non-Muslim friends, speaking to them. And trust me, my confidence level has shot up to another level. It's, if we don't do it, especially the people who are living in Africa and who are watching this video, if you do not do it, these missionaries, they're going to exploit and confuse everybody, including yourself. So please, stand up, you know, take the step forward just by tapping on the internet. You know, we've got internet at our hands today. You know, we've got iPads and, you know, iPhones. We've got all of this. Get onto them and, you know, watch stuff, read stuff, interesting stuff, things that will help you and gain you knowledge in giving da'wah, inshallah. It's very easy. I didn't have to even go through the da'wah training course to do this, and it's simple. So inshallah, you know, I make dua that we can all go ahead and conquer Africa together, inshallah.
Inshallah. Really good advice, and I really hope to have you on future shows where we can talk more about, inshallah, topics related to Malawi, dawah, and well, one of the additional topics we want to start speaking about in the future is aid work as well, because that's also a separate thing that needs to be taken care of in Africa.
Definitely.
So Jazakallah khair for coming on the show, and we'll see you next time.
Sure.